the topic of the day. So you have break of structure, which is the process in which market clears previous high and create new highs in the markets in either direction. It can be in the uptrend or in the downtrend. So you can either have a break of structure to the downside or a break of structure to the upside. So which means it has to do with trend. Firstly, what you want to do when you are doing your analysis is to identify the trend. So after this, then you then start to draw your structure. Then from there, you can also be able to mark out your break of structure. So for you to be able to achieve this, I'll just go straight to my screen and share and show us a live example of what I'm saying. So for example, we have Coin over here on my screen already. Let me just delete mobile drones. So the last time we spoke about market structure, and I'll do the same thing here. So the type of analysis we always recommend that suits well is top-down analysis. And for you to be able to identify the trend, you want to do a top-down analysis in which you pick different time frame from the higher time frame to the lower time frame to draw your structure so as to know the market direction. So the recommended time frame I do recommend to everybody in our community is 4 hours, then 1 hour, 30 minutes and 15 minutes, 30 minutes and 15 minutes for your entry. To support your structure, you use 4 hours as the higher time frame. You could definitely also use a daily time frame, but for me, 4 hours work really well. So then I'll switch to my 4 hours here on this coin, which is fat coin. And the next thing I'm expected to do is to draw my structure to know exactly what the market is doing. So I'll just zoom out like this, and I'll pick my part two from here. So let's assume I want to draw my structure from here. All I have to do is just pick my part two and start my drawing from here. So this is equal to this high. So I now also see from here that there was a change here. And we have this, we have markets yeah, market creating higher highs and higher lows. And currently we are here, right here, which is telling us that this market right here is about to break the structure of the upside. The last structure that was broken on the other side, we are really going bullish at this platform. Um, and very fast, you can see that this recent high will soon be broken. So you can see that platform here is really bullish, and very soon if you look at. So we know that we are going bullish here. In fact, the direction of this market is bullish. So now, I haven't done this and known the direction of this trend. and it's bullish, then I come down to my hour time frame, an hour time frame to draw my structure. So I want to focus right now on this area. I want to put my focus on this area. Okay, I want to analyze this area, the recent move the market did. If I was to draw my structure from here, if I pick my part two and I do something like this, this market is bullish and the structure here would be something like this. So I pick my trend line and mark this side. This is so for we to have a break of structure, you want to have impulsive move to the upside. So this will be our impulsive move to the upside. We have impulsive move to the upside. And there will be a pullback phase. So we see that this recent high here, we have a high here that market created from this move upward. There is this internal structure here, but at the moment we are currently not looking at this, right? For we to have a break of structure, market has to clear the recent high. And as a recent high, this will be my recent high. Yeah. In fact, if you check from here, if I zoom in this chart right here, you see that the last high market created was this right here. Can everybody see my screen? Please, if you see my screen, just type one in the chat box. And if you understand what I'm saying, okay, okay, that's great, that's great. So market will create this has created this impulsive move to the upside, and there will be a pullback leg, right? This should be the pullback leg, and this pullback leg, right? And it will be creating and here, in fact, when market go to this area here, it just broke. It was just a fair break. It's not a complete break, right? This was not a complete break. In fact, if I zoom out clearly from here, you will see that if let me leave this so that this will be clear. Um, this we cannot consider this as a break of structure. I would not consider this as a break of structure, and I'll tell you why. Because for we to have a break of structure, market has to break the recent high, and the recent high is this bullish candlestick here, this green candlestick that you can see from my screen, this last bullish candlestick. In fact, if you check from here, you will see that this candlestick here is higher than this one, right? If you can see the candlestick indicating with my mouse, please type 2 in the chat box. If you can see the candlestick I'm indicating, please type 2 in the chat box. If you can see the candlestick I'm indicating for you, type 2 in the chat box. And if you understand what I'm saying, type 2, please. So for you to have a break of structure, right? For you to have a break of structure, market has to clear the recent high, the recent higher high the market created. So in this move here, this pull way or impulsive move, right? For market to create a BOS, which is a break of structure, it has to clear the recent high, right? So, and after this pullback here, market went upside, right? Created this impulsive move again to the upside after this pullback, right? When it did this high, it did this, but there was no clear break because why? Why do we say that was the high here? Didn't break out clearly. You can see if we connect those from here. Let me just take out this. So I'll pick my trend line and I'll connect this dot so you can see the recent high. The recent high is from this green. So you want to connect this right here to the last candle here. And you can see the candle this market created here is this bullish candle, and this bearish candle it later created didn't break out fully above this area. Okay, so I'll just mark that up so that you can see. So you can see this is not a clear break. In fact, when there was a pullback in this market did pull back, right? But it later came and this market here, I'll consider it as a consolidating market. We always consider this as a consolidating market. It's a range, right? Markets was ranging in this area. If you remember the topic where we were talking about, when we talked about market structure, I talked about different types of market we have. Is there anybody who can remind me the types of market I taught us? I said there was. Today's topic is break of structure. Today's topic is break of structure. So I talked about in our last topic the 3 types of market that we have. Is there anybody who can remind me the 3 types of market we have? Is there anybody who can tell me the 3 types of market we have?
We have the uptrend, downtrend, and the range.
Oh, that's good. Who's that?
Musaf.
Huh?
My name is Musaf.
Ustaz. That's really great. That's really great. So I will consider this as a consolidating market, a ranging market, right? So this is not a good trade for us. In fact, this market later broke out, right? So this is a ranging market. And the place I will consider a break of structure is here. We have a break of structure around here. And we can confirm that we have a clear break here in this area. So we'll then mark this out as our BOS. For you to have a clear break of structure, you want to have at least 1 to 2 or 3 candles that breaks out of that structure or the recent high. So in fact, if you see from here, you see that once this market broke this high here, there was at least two candles that closed above this area. This is the 1 hour, but if I go below this area, you will see that the candlesticks that closed out of the zone was at least one, two, and three, even more than three. It was like four candles that closed out. So, and we have a break of structure here. So now I will just clear this out. I'll clear the whole thing. So up to this area, I believe we understand what we have been talking about. So for we to have this, we have this as an option. This market is an option. And for we to have an option, so if I was even though I was trading and not using SNC, what you always want to look for in a market is the structure, right, of the market, where the market direction is going before you can obviously do anything. And we can see that there is still a continuation in this trend, right? So so I think I have a PowerPoint slide here. So can everybody see this on my screen? Can everybody see the slide on my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so we are talking about BOS, which is break of structure, and there are a lot of confluences that we are going to talk about later in this class. But one of the things, key concepts I want to quickly talk about, or I would say brief us, is liquidity, right? So in smart money, this topic is very important, and it has a lot to do with when we are doing analysis. And one of the best things that you can know in the markets, that once you know how to spot in your charts, it will make you a lot of money. So when we say we trade SMC, what we do is join the market when is to join the market before it goes in the particular direction where we want to trade. But in our case, right, what we want to always spot is when market is going bullish, because we are trading the spot market, but we want to buy at a very discounted price, right? For we to be able to do this and make a lot of money, we want to be able to spot liquidity fast, right? So I remember in one of our previous classes where we talked about IC candles, which is when we were talking about the anatomy of Japanese candlesticks, right? And I talked about ways to define IC candles, which is institutional candlesticks, right? So for you to be able to always be in profit, you want to be able to spot when there is a lot of liquidity in the market, which we also can refer to as institutional candles. When the institutions are in the market, the big banks, the big guys are in the market, when they are putting in a lot of cash flow in the market. So for you to be able to spot this, you firstly want to know what's liquidity. Liquidity actually is just money, right? Cash flow, right? When there's a lot of cash flow in the market, right? And it's one of the confluences in which we look for when we are analyzing using SMC. And we are able to spot this and able to join the market so as to go in the direction of the market, right? So let's say, for example, the best way as spot traders, right? If we are not trading the perpetual market, the futures market, right? The best way you can trade a downtrend market, even though the market is going bearish, the best way you can do it is to be able to spot liquidity and be able to join so as the market will then push to the upside, right? So you won't say because I'm not trading the futures, I can be shorting or I can be longing. You can do either ways, but you won't be shorting in your own scenario. But then you want to look into when there is a little manipulation in the market, right? Because it's going to help you. Because if you are able to spot an order block early, right? You know that when there will be manipulations, right? What does smart money do in the market? They break their orders into different categories when they want to manipulate price, right? They first push the market upside. The intention is to push the market to the upside, right? But then their real main orders are left in different blocks in the market, right? So then they first push the market, which is not the real push that they are looking for, so as people uh, in the market, like retail traders like me and you, then place order and think that the market is really making the real move. So they place their order, they quickly buy into that market, thinking the market is about to take off, right? And then they place their stop loss right below. And smart money, what does smart money does? They place some hidden orders, right? So now that is where they look for liquidity hunts, right? They take out those stop orders and then buy all of it, they assume it, and then buy into their main orders, which are set below those stop losses in the market. So now, how does this contribute to us that are trading the smart money? We know that how does it contribute to us that we are trading the spot market? It contributes to us because when prices are actually pushed to those order blocks and you are able to spot them early, you'll be able to join the smart money to be able to take your profits at the exact point where you want to take them. So which means you have to be able to recognize smart money when they join the market. So now, firstly, what I'll be talking to us about this evening is liquidity. And liquidity joins the market when the smart money joins. So there will be a lot of cash flow. And for you to be able to spot that on your chart, I'll go to live chat and show us. But before we do that, I just want to make sure we all understand that what's the concept of liquidity and what it means. So liquidity is cash, it's money, right? And when it joins the market, it pushes market really fast and it's very volatile. So for example, so you can see this is the assets, right? For example, if we are trading this, I gave an example with Fatcoin right now, but I would give an example, clear example with Bitcoin, for example. I know I have on my screen here, USD and GBP, JPY, and all of it. But then, since we are crypto trader, I want to give us an example with Bitcoin, right? So once there is liquidity in the market, which we refer to as SMC, the smart money, right? There will be a lot of cash. Just know that what we are referring to when we say liquidity is cash. So when there's a lot of pump in the market, you see coins, a lot of coins doing multiple percent in the market. There is smart money that has joined into that market, buying that asset, right? Which we in the crypto space we refer to it as a pump. So they are pumping this market. But how do you recognize that this smart money has joined the market? So what the signals you will be seeing is that the market is moving really fast, right? The market is very volatile and it's very easy to pick your order, it's very easy for you to make a lot of money. But if it was to be futures market where we risk using leverages, high possibility for you to make a lot of money and high possibility if you are not using your if you are not managing your risk, high possibility to also lose money. So and there is always low spread in the market, right? So now I'll just give you an example here and I'll give you a live example also. So if there's anybody here who remembers when we talked about the Marabusu candle in the anatomy of Japanese candlestick, we said um, one of the characteristics of a Marabusu candle is that it has a full body, and for you to be able to spot institutions joining the market, there will be imbalance or fair value gaps in the market, which are topics in which we are going to really talk about later in the market, right? So what you want to know that there are retail traders, a lot of retail traders will join this market, and there are big banks, big funds that are in the market, right? And it's when market is being manipulated, right? It's when market is being manipulated, there will be a very fair pull drop to the market when there's a first move here to push the market down, and then the intention of always is when the market is intending to go bullish, then the real pump will come when orders are being being mitigated. When smart money succeeds to push the market with some funds down in the market, they pick their order and then push the market back upward. And there will be fair value gap, right? For we don't know what the meaning of fair value gap is, let's see if we can spot that on Fatcoin here. So for example, here we have smart money joining the market here. So for example, let me just give you a quick example of what I intend here. So our topic for tonight, we know that this market is bullish. Like the first thing we want to do is to first draw our break of structure, which is situated right here. So now you see the market has broken structure to the upside. So the next thing you have been looking for right here. So even though I dropped to the 30 minutes time frame here, so I want to look for my structure. My structure will be around here. We can easily see that there is a push in this downside. There's different blocks in this market, but the one that is actually creating the nicer fair value gap is here, and I'll mark that out for you to see. So there's this fair value gap here. Which in 30 minutes time frame can actually be a nice trade. And we have this block sitting around here. We actually, if honestly, if I was to take this trade, this is not a good trade for me to take, but yeah, this is just a clear example of what we are intending, right? So there is this fair value gap, and we have 3 Marabusu candles, right? So for you to define a Marabusu candle, it has full body. At times, it has just full body without a wick. It has full body candle without a wick. It can be bullish or a bearish candle, but then it doesn't matter. And for us to spot that this is real smart money joining this market, there will be 3 Marabusu candle which will be printing upside. So we can count from here 1, 2, and 3. Right? This is a weak scenario. The very bullish scenario would be like this example on this PowerPoint here. Look at 1, 2, 3. And there's another scenario here as well, which is this big marabouts candle, 1, 2, and 3. And there is this little fair value gap between it, right? So is there any question? Is there anybody who has questions as regards to the main topic of tonight, which is BOS and how you can draw your BOS? So this is the breakup structure. So for you to have, for you to draw your breakup structure, you want to first draw your market structure. Sani Oluwatobi. Okay. So what exactly don't you understand? So you don't understand anything, okay? Is there any other person also who doesn't understand?
Yeah, Abiola. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. On this chart, is there any way you can just, as in to tell, because I'm trying to relate this to sports traders that we are. You understand?
Yeah.
Because most people now will be seeing all these things as they might not understand. But what should we, because when you want to start a trade in Royal Q will first show you the chart. So I believe we should be maybe you relate it to, okay, when you see so charts, you know that this coins is about to go down. When you see this kind of pattern, when the green is this the red is this coin is about to go drop drastically, so you can stop. Okay, when you see this kind of charts, this coin is about to go up, so you can enter the trade. I think that one will be kind of things we can relate to in this our sports trading using Royal Q. Thank you.
Um, I understand what you're saying, Leader George. In fact, that is exactly what we are doing. So that is the reason why I started the class with market structure. So if you are able to draw your structure, well, you will definitely know the direction in which the market is doing. So the next thing for you to look for is entry, right? The next thing for you to look for is entry. So if you draw your market structure very well, and you know that the market is going bullish, at least you know the direction the market is doing, what you have to be looking for is entry, right? What you have to be looking for is entry. So, and then you know that if market is in a ranging market, is for you to stay out of that coin, right? So now, if for example, there's anybody here in the chat that draws, just drop any coin of your choice here, and let's run a quick analysis so that we can be able to so I can just be able to explain to you that this is the scenario that you will know that, okay, this is the best time for you to enter this market, or this is when the market is going to drop. SRP, okay, perfect. But you don't just rush, I cannot just rush to analyze the market and tell you, okay, this is the direction the market is going to do. So let's run a quick analysis together on SRP. Run the SRP on, okay. So now let's say we want to run the analysis on this. We said we are going to run a top-down analysis. Right, we can see that this market, barely looking at this chart, you can see that it's very bullish. Like I will just zoom out on this chart. I zoom out on this chart. You can see from here, just zooming out from this chart, you can see that SRP has broken out on its recent high, right? You can see that this market is very bullish. So the first thing we want to do is come to the higher time frame to see what market is doing, right? So now, you know that it's for you to look for an entry on SRP, right? But you don't want to buy the top, right? You want to look for the best place to buy SRP, right? So now, we know that the total trend of this market is bullish, right? The total trend of this market is bullish. So now I'll come down now to why I say the total trend of the market is bullish. I just came to a higher time frame. I can come to the daily time frame or the 4 hours time frame, and I just zoom out. Okay. Once I zoom out, I just want to draw my trend line and make sure. Even though I draw my trend line from here, from this recent low to the highest point of the market, I can still see that this market is respecting this trend. It hasn't broken down, right? Even though market comes later now, it's still going to break, it's still going to bounce off this trend line here, right? But if anything that makes SRP to break below this trend line, we should be looking for, you don't want to buy into this market, right? So now we know that the total trend of SRP is uptrend. The next thing you want to do now is go to the lower time frame to look for entry. Okay. So I'll come to my hourly time frame and see what is the structure of the market and which is the best place for me to enter this market. Okay. So we know that as spot traders, we are buying low and selling high. Okay. So we are buying low and selling high. So now from here also, I'm not seeing that nice spot where I can buy from. I can still go lower. So now I have 30 minutes time frame. I'm looking for a spot where I can buy from this. Since I know that the overall trend is uptrend, so now the place I want to buy from is where I'll be looking for. So what are the criteria for us to look for to be able to enter this trade? You want to look for an order block. I'll pick my path through, draw from here. So there's this high here that market has to clear. I can still see that there is no break yet. And the last structure market broke was this. So there was an impulsive move up here, and there was a pullback, and there is this impulsive move that this market hasn't actually broken yet. So now I'll mark up my break of structure from here. Let me come down now to 15 minutes time frame. This has been mitigated. On the 15 minutes time frame, the closest entry that we can look for a sharp entry because this market is really going really bullish. So now I want to look for another structure from this leg. I have multiple blocks here, the market created, BOF, and we have this structure also. So now what we said you want to always do is look for a block, right? A place where you believe market will come out, where you can buy low exactly. So now, for example, just using this 15 minutes time frame, the best thing I can do now is pick 1.2, it's around yeah. Okay, valid. Okay, I want to look for another block. We haven't, I've spoke about it on several classes, but we haven't gotten to it. We are still on break of structure, but the best block you can buy from right now on SRP, where you can still be really profitable, is here. We've seen liquidity, market trying to pick this order from here. We have liquidity around here. Sell side liquidity on the 15 minutes time frame. And if I was to look for a buy, I would look for my buy around here and target the recent high market created. I'll target this high actually, which is the high that the market has currently. And have at least a little RR. Do anybody understand what we just did? George. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you. Leader Abiola, you know that we will not be having all this pencil drawing of line when they show us that chart. But is there any way by looking at the maybe different time frames, looking at the liquidity, the amount of USDT inside the trade, at least we can see that information, the liquidity, the number of people trading, as in amount of USDT in the trade, you understand, and looking at the charts on different time frames. Can one tell that okay, this trade, looking at different time frames and looking at the quantity, that liquidity is there, so I can go in and start that trade since I'm trading with Royal Q? So I'm already having margin calls in case the coins drop, but hopefully, looking at it, we are hopeful that it will not break the trend line. So even if it draws back, our margin calls can buy. You understand? So is it possible that we can look at a chart, look at the liquidity, and look at the different time frames and say, okay, this coin is overbought, that any time from now it will retrace down. Okay, let me wait. Or this trade is down. This trade, or before this coin started moving, I think it was last week or last 2 weeks, before all coins started recovering, is there anything we can look at that chart and say, okay, money has started flowing in the liquidity, in the quantity of USDT in the trade. So we are likely to see a reversal upward, so we can enter the trade. Is that possible?
The only way to spot liquidity early in any asset, right? Even though it's Bitcoin and all of it, is to use some indicators, which actually it won't give you that much data to know, okay, this is the best time to enter. But with the help of some indicators like RSI, you are able to spot that, okay, this market is overbought or oversold. And just a moment. Okay, you're welcome. So, for example, on SRP here, the best way you can, I don't know if I should switch to my phone. So one of the best way for you to know that market is going to, there is a lot of bull trend in the market is when you are starting to spot a lot of. So for example, if you look at, I'm on 4 hours time frame here, right? And it's very clear that there is smart money joining this market, and it won't be retracing anytime soon, right? Just by being able to spot, um, is being able to spot IC candles, okay? Um, Here I'm trying to add indicators on my chart, but it's asking me to upgrade my account and all of it. But barely looking at this place, right? Look at on our 4 hours time frame, you can see since, look at, there is this uptrend that market created, and afterwards there is no even a big move. It's around here. It's just being able to spot institutional candle in the market, and you would know that market will be going bullish. And being able to use some indicators like RSI. So knowing that if you add your RSI in the market and you see your RSI at around 24, which is currently indicating to you that it's oversold. And when the market is above 70 or around 67, it's really it's overbought. Okay, when it's around 24 to around 30, it's still oversold. So coupling these, putting these confluences together and going to your charts, spotting institutional candles below will tell you that this market is really bullish. And another thing, another indicator that can clearly show to us that the market is really bullish on a particular trade is your volume, okay? Once you spot volume, you can also use volume very well. And I promise, this is something I think by our next class, I'll try my best to make sure and show us how we can use those indicators in our favor to be able to spot quick uh, buy and bullish momentum in the market. Okay, so how to use our volume and how to use our RSI to spot liquidity in the market, and other tools that we can also use in Confluence to be able to determine the best time to enter any assets that we are trading. I hope I was able to answer your question there, George.
Yes, but please, I also would love you that the next class, let it be done on the Royal Q app. You understand?
Okay.
Let us see it on the Royal Q app, the next class, so that we'll see the chart there. We'll look at least Royal Q have tried in providing some indicators there already. So
Yeah,
let's see.
but the reason why I'm actually not using the Royal Q app is that, we don't have access to tools to do analysis on there, but it's just for us to just, even though I use the Royal Q app, I'll just open and then be talking and just showing the charts, and I can't actually do anything on there. That's the reason why I don't.
I understand. I understand. That's why I'm saying we have newbies here that they might not be too good on drawing these trend lines and all these things on trading view. But all they know that if they open their Royal Q, since we have already told them that Royal Q has these indicators and everything, it's just for them to say, okay, when they open the Royal Q and open the trade they want to trade and they see the chart, how will they know that no, this coin is not okay to start? This coin is okay to start. At least if we can have that experience for our next Monday Zoom, it will be helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll do like a walkthrough and then show us how you can some pairs on Royal Q on the chat and all of it. No problem, definitely. And also some indicators that are on Royal Q, and then we'll explain that. So yeah, Osase first, yeah, you can come on.
All right. Thank you, sir. Sir, I actually understand what you are actually showing us here, because I do trade forex. So I usually think what we do in the forex market is quite different from what we have in the crypto market. I don't know much about the crypto market, but seeing it from your end, yeah. And Leader George is actually saying, how can we just look at this chart and spot out like this what this the direction the market will be going? So I don't actually think that's possible, only if you have actually mastered this thing in a long period of time. If you have been consistent in looking at the chart for a long period of time. So when looking before spotting out the direction, that's where we are. You actually showed us going to a higher time frame to spot out the trend of the market, which is definitely right. That's how we actually spot this out in the forex markets. So I've not actually noticed how it works in the Royal Q markets. So he's saying in terms that we have new beings here, he wants you to actually show us how it's being done in the Royal Q app. And from what I'm seeing here, I think using trading view actually tells it all. I haven't seen the Royal Q how it looks like in the Royal Q, but seeing it from the trading view, which you just showed us right now, is quite clear to me. I don't maybe it's because I've been seeing more things like this when it comes to trading view because I trade on forex. So Leader George is actually saying that if you can actually show a few spots whereby we don't have to go through trade line, um, drawing out with drawing out all those things, just looking at the market we can just spot this direction that, oh, the market is going to buy or the market is going to sell, just the way ReactQ is actually helping us. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, I think Habis underscore Spank want to say something.
Yeah, you can come up. Leader Abi.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Leader George, everybody, Labiola, well done. Please, based on this motion just raised now, actually, I like it. It is a good suggestion, actually, to be candid. But one thing about it is that I believe that what Leader Abiola is trying to explain to us is that, to me, the first thing is that the class is technical analysis. That class has a title already, technical analysis. The way by you analyze the market technically, you understand that. Let me first clear that part. So that is the first thing of the market. But even though the class is technical analysis, it is still based on ReactQ. So that's why I said the motion being raised is right. So now the two parties are right, but now let me now say something. So now balance this. I felt like the thing is that this thing is split into two. Even though the ReactQ app that you're supposed to use doesn't have the editing tools like Dabella have said, but the thing is that if this technical analysis class as well, it is you are not limiting it to, okay, now it is to trade on ReactQ, fine, but if you have this knowledge as well, it can help in some other field in the financial market, whereby you can yourself analyze this market. That is let me say that would be the second sole aim of hosting the class. But we knew that primarily it is for ReactQ, yes. But now, based on what you now said, that so that you can spot where because now if I could decode that message, okay, all these things that all these lines, and this thing that they are not really necessary, but it's just for us to, let me say, just get to the chart where we do enter, set our boats, give it an instruction, then you should buy for us. Fine, it is right. But in the other hand, I believe that people still, even though the newbie, we still have to learn this thing and know and have the knowledge. But now, if to me, I'll just say that if it were to be like that, because if you are to start analyzing the market before you go to the ReactQ, it might be somehow difficult like that. But if all these things that we have been teaching in this class, as if it is impactful, everybody take it very enter trades easily, you will not be too, because the about thing is that if you are trading technically, it will reduce your greed, because you have your entry point and your exit point. That's the importance. Now you can either tell, okay, my boat, buy from here to here, you take it, even the market dumps, you find new entry. But if it were to be that, okay, to be using indicator, all these things as well, you have to, at times people want to know where to target and where to enter from. So that is one of the things why this TA class is very, very important to know and understand. Then about this, I believe that if you are to talk about this, how we just said to our boat, I think as he's saying that the RSI indicator, that will be more of indicator, it will be less of TA. It will be more of indicator, because those one can, okay, you can say, okay, buy from here and this thing. But at times, all those indicators, they failed. That is why they say we should add technical analysis to our indicators. When you now combine both, it will give you a proper hedge. Fine, we are trading the spot market. We don't have any loss. But what if we enter and market start dumping drastically? Yes, TA can tell you something good, that's fine. Don't enter, a market might still dump. But indicator might tell you that you can buy, but at times we just feel. That's just it. So, but I want just say that based on this, indicators, like I said, RSI and this all this Bollinger Band that it is on our ReactQ app, that is what can help us. That's why they have put them in the ReactQ platform. Maybe that which is just more of indicators and less of TA, but it will affect some people that want to know the part of that personal analysis. Then about the liquidity stuff, you can use this coin glass to know, maybe now you want to buy BTC. You know BTC liquidity is resting on so level like that. I just heard it, but I've not really studied like that, so I know it works as well. You see where overall people are buying the market, where they want, like where the liquidity is in the market. So that's what I want to say, Sha, that TA is very important. You can just try and learn it together with the indicators. So you should not just limit it to doubt of, okay, let's just tell us where to enter. That's just my view, Sha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader Abi. So, in addition to what Leader Abi said, and to
I
answer,
think, I
yeah,
think Leader Lucky have something to say. Let him just say so before you now round up.
okay,
All right. Good evening. Please, can you all hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I totally understand everything that is being said here, and I won't say this technical analysis is actually great and it's helping a lot of people. But for those of us, for those people that want to trade sports very well and they want to use it on Royal Q. The truth is Royal Q provide indicators, but those indicators are not really helping. They're not really helping. Yeah, SRI and the moving average and the rest, they're not really helping. That's just it. Most times they fail a lot. Most times they fail a lot. And if you want to go into sports, like you want to go into sports that you don't want to trade anything concerning future, you need technical analysis and you need fundamental analysis. Technical analysis should be like 80 to 70%, while the rest should be fundamental analysis. For somebody that wants to go very deep into sports trading, that you don't want to have much losses, like even if you're on loss, you should be on floating loss. Mind you, there are some trades you take, you'll be on floating loss for 2 months, 3 months, if sometimes even 1 year, depending on the coin. Do you understand? So if personally, in my own way, if you want to use only Royal Q and you don't want to use um trading view to analyze your market, that means there are other things you look out for outside Royal Q. For example, there is this particular coin you have in mind. Most times I do it but I prefer technical analysis. I prefer coming to trading view to do my analysis. But if you have this coin and you see, okay, that there's every possibility that this coin is going to go well, and you already check your indicator, maybe your moving average, it has already crossed 20 moving averages and the rest, and you say, okay, this coin is likely to pop. You just carry the coin, go to your den screener or go to CoinGecko. That's if you want to do only spot trading, that you don't want to do technical analysis on trading view, you don't understand it. But mind you, you must surely want trading view because that's the best way, that's the only way you understand what you're doing and get clear information. But if you don't want to do that, after seeing a potential on Royal Q that this is going to go up or this is going to come down, you can just take your coin to any of these Denscreener or CoinGecko, or there are so many of them, but I prefer Denscreener. Go there, you check the market cap, the liquidity, check the people holding it. There are other things you look out for, which if you want us to teach, I'll be likely to help in that aspect also. Then those are the things that will not determine if you're going to hold the coin, how fast it's going to grow, or if it is not going to pump at all, or if there's going to be a rock pull in the coin. But most times, it's always advisable to go to your trading view, do your analysis. One thing about technical analysis is what happened before the past time will always happen. It will keep repeating itself. It's more like human behavior. Sure, you understand? And you don't, everybody does not change. The thing keep repeating itself. It keep reoccurring. The only thing is, have you spotted before and can you make it happen? That's just it. So I prefer, and I will say, had it been Royal Q, I have tried using Royal Q on my system. It's still not working because I use system for Zoom. Royal Q though, I think they only have their website, but you can't log in using system. Had it been you can log in using system, there are things, yes, we can show you how to use Royal Q to trade. We can show you, okay, when the green line crosses the red line, that means it's in a bullish trade and it's bullish and you have to enter the market and the rest. But mind you, we can tell you those things and you will see it. It works. It might work in some places, and then before you know it, you start losing. Before you know it, you'll be on floating loss for months. It is not guarantee. Most times it work, but it is not guarantee. That's why we teach technical analysis using TradingView, and there are other ways too without using TradingView. So this is my little opinion. If you want us to let's be using RoyalQ, I think we can do that. I personally can do that because I've seen the SRI indicators, the moving averages, the indicators on RoyalQ, and I've seen, yes, they work, but if I should rate how many they work, I would say maybe 40 to 50%. That's what I can say, 40 to 50%, but it works. And there's how you use it, you still end up in loss. There's how you use it, you still make profits. We can always do that, but it's likely and is advisable to support it with other technical and fundamental analysis. So that's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Lucky
Leader,
FX.
Leader Lucky. Okay, nice one, nice one. I'm not saying that we'll stop using. I'm not saying that we should stop using trading view. Because I know other teams they do use trading view. All I'm saying that as in trading view, Royal Q, so that new person coming in can relate both. You understand? If you explain something on trading view, at least if it's relatable, it should be relatable on the Royal Q app. And Leader Lucky, yes, Leader Tom is here on this Zoom. He uses laptop to open his Royal Q. You understand? So we have a link. If you want to open Royal Q, you can use your laptop to do your Royal Q. Yes, it's not only the phone. You can
Okay,
you can
please.
log in into your Royal Q account using laptop. You can chat the Tom is on the group. You can chat him later. He will send you the link so you can open it.
All right.
Put you through.
I really
So
appreciate.
I think Leader Osha has something to say. Then Leader Biola will now round up. Thank you.
No, I don't have anything to say. Thank you so much. What I just want to add is, yes, the trading view is the important part, but then I understand also it has to also be Royal Q so people can relate. Yeah, I get it. As for the Royal Q, you've already said it, but it's just that Royal Q only have like the app is only on Play Store and App Store, but you can open Royal Q through the web also. That's correct.
Yeah, thank you everybody for the contribution. And in fact, the concern about we making example using Royalty some of the times to do technical class so as it's relatable to what we are doing is actually a solid point. So to spot liquidity, I had I think if not 2 or 3 people that made their contribution about how to also spot liquidity. You see, the reason why I'm more concentrated on TradingView and on charts, because me, I would say 80% of the time I'm always concentrated on my charts. And the reason why we are teaching you an anatomy of candlestick, the way you can identify your candlestick and how you can read them and all of it is because the more you train your eyes to spot candlesticks and be able to tell what they are saying, right? There is no platform that you would see they show you your candlestick charts, which is Japanese candlestick, right? If it's chart, you'll be able to spot easily if market is going bullish, if market is ranging, if market is doing any of those stuff. You see the fundamental analysis, the sentimental analysis, and all of it. It's just a plus, okay, for you to know that okay, there will be a little push in the market. Why do you think people in the market they trade news at times when they know that okay at a particular time in points, if there is a huge news in the market, it's likely to push upside or downside. It's not predictable. Okay, the news, the fundamental analysis part, right? It's not always predictable. You could say it will go your way and it doesn't, but 70% of the time, if you're able to do your analysis right and you meet all your confluences, right, regardless of where you are looking your chart from, right, you will be able to always spot that this is what market will do. okay, meeting your confluences, depending on your strategy, okay? But then now, let's now make a clear example, right? Okay, I see my charts and I know that, okay, yeah, definitely this is what the market is going to do. But if you don't have the right tools to do your analysis, how will you then know that this is how you are going to do? You cannot just barely look at your chart and say, okay, without considering a lot of stuff and then plotting your chart very well. Even with you doing your right analysis at times, market can still humble you and still drop, okay? And the reason why most of the time is better for you to do a whole analysis rather than considering what indicators is telling you is because indicators might be trading in a range, okay? Depending on the time frame you are looking at, it might give you some solid 1:1, 1:2 maximum profit. But the real profit, if you want to make real profit in the market, where you will be getting 1:3, 1:4, 1:7, 1:10 risk to reward ratio in the market, is when you do real analysis. And I can tell you for free, okay, look at this market that I'm currently looking at right here. If I was to take this trade from this block here, right, you cannot compare me to someone who is trading using just indicators. If I was to take this trade from this place alone, and if I was to measure how or what was the percentage I was going to make from here, just this block, even though this is not just a complete analysis, but just barely looking at what I'm looking at. If I was to take this trade from here, right? If I was to take this trade from here, just alone, you know, you cannot use indicator to take such trade, okay? So there's reason why we are teaching you all of this stuff, right? And I get the point absolutely that we are going to consider using the platform, Royalty platform at times to also show, okay, we are doing this. Probably the way we are going to be doing it is because me, I actually haven't used Royalty on my laptop. I'll try also as much as possible to also get the link to be able to open a Royalty on my laptop to see. So that when we are doing analysis, even though we pick any coin, we are able to analyze on TradingView, and then we go to the Royalty app and then do the same thing with the same coin. Probably that will help. But what I'm saying is that the more you train your eyes using a chart and you're able to like do your analysis very well, the better it is, okay? So thank you for everybody that contributed, and thank you for everybody that came to the class tonight. And I hope that with this class and the topic we had today, which is break of structure, I hope we all understood and we are able to understand, okay, this is how to draw your BOS and the things to consider to draw a perfect BOS.
All right, thank you so much, Leader Abiola, and to everyone that contributed, thank you so much. We really love the input. I saw a message on the chat, which I would just briefly like to address, and the person was saying, "Oh, why are we doing analysis? I thought the robot is going to be doing it." So this is how I would just put it, and I'll put it very simple. Now, yes, you can be trading blindly, you can use the robot and everything, but when you pair it with technical analysis, you cannot compare. If you put somebody that is adding extra, that person is going to be making more profits than you. Definitely, you'll be making more profits, right? Just using the robot. But when you pair it with a strong knowledge, that's where you see people taking like 100% or maybe 50%. Let me not even overhype it, like 20%, because they've analyzed the market. They know that, okay, this coin can actually do 20%. I'm very, very confident of my analysis, and I'm going to take 20% of this trade. But because you do not have that knowledge, of course, you are not knowledgeable. You'll be setting like 2%, 3%, 4%, maybe even 5%. So that is the difference. It's not like, oh, Royalty doesn't have or Royalty cannot make you money on its own. It can, it is a robot. But imagine that you have this knowledge, you'll be able to shoot. And yes, it is actually called the technical analysis class. It's for you to furthermore have knowledge on the technicalities of trading. So thank you so much. Tomorrow, we have our prospects and our guest meeting. These are mainly It's for members too, but also mainly for guests. So please try as much as possible. If you have anyone that is interested in Royal Q, as a team builder, you want to get anyone on board, make sure they are in the meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow's meeting is going to be amazing. So please and please try, don't come alone, come with somebody. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see us tomorrow. And I hope we are making profits and enjoying the market. We're hoping for more pumps and we're hoping to make more money. So thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see us tomorrow.
Okay, thank you everybody for attending. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.